Now, the issue with fear is that when we know we're afraid, it works in a very similar way to anger, right? When we know we're afraid and we're now totally in truth about our fear, and we no longer have any anger blockages about dealing with our fears, so in other words, we've finished swearing with God, we've finished swearing at ourselves, and we've now got into this state where we actually do want to feel the emotion of it, very rapidly after that, you'll feel the grief connected with that fear. And you'll find it will happen. Like nowadays, if I'm in the right space and I've dealt with those blocking emotions, and I say, I'm just afraid of whatever it is I'm afraid of, within 5 seconds later I'm generally crying about that thing I'm afraid of. Does that make sense? Once you've dealt with all the blockages, that will happen just naturally. So what I'm finding is the majority of us are struggling to get to causal emotion because we think we have to go to causal, right? Sometimes I hear some of you saying that. It's almost like a slogan, right? Go to causal, go to causal. And what really needs to happen is we need to experience our blocking emotions first, right? So we need to experience our rage and anger, for example, with God about having these laws. We need to experience what it feels like to be in this state where we're not connecting with an emotion and how frustrating it is. We need to experience what it feels like to be in so much fear and what the fear is about. And when we've experienced those emotionally, they're all now out of the way of our system. They're gone out of our system now. Now the underlying causal emotion, which is generating the majority of my law of attraction, pops its head up and we can feel it. And it's quite that easy when you actually deal with the blockages first. If you don't deal with the blockages first and you're trying to get at the causal emotion all the time, which is usually causal childhood grief, what's happening is you're trying to get it, but all these blockages are like they're like lead weights weighing you down from actually getting at the underlying emotion anyway. And it's so hard. You've got to sort of almost force yourself into it. And then even then it doesn't feel like you've dealt with it, right? So this is why many of you feel like, I tried to get at that cause and I cried for a little bit, 5 minutes, and I'm out of it again. Then I tried it again the next day, I'm frustrated. Now I'm starting to get frustrated after a week of that, right? It doesn't need to be that way because all we need to do is focus on the blockages to that causal rather than the causal emotion itself, right? It's the blockages that prevent you from feeling. It's the blockages that everyone around you, the environment around you created in you to prevent you from feeling. When you remove the blockages, you will feel, just naturally, just like a child does. That's what will happen. Anytime you don't feel naturally like that, it's because of the blocking emotion. The key is to feel the blocking emotion. That makes sense to everyone? Okay.